the economy, which, as Jeff mentioned, is just right at the center of all of these polls. The president says Mitt Romney is out of touch. Mitt Romney says the president is out of touch. So it's easy to figure out what their strategies are. They're identical. Mitt Romney today, in an interview with the National Review, was asked about this GSA scandal, the overspending and the lavish parties thrown by at the GSA, and he made a bit of a stretch. He basically said that in an administration, you got to look to the top, and when a president takes vacations, when people are hurting in the economy, that was somehow related to the GSA scandal. It sounded like a stretch. What was notable to me was it was an argument that felt new from Mitt Romney, which is to say that this president, while people are hurting, is off enjoying his vacations. Let's leave aside for the moment the fact that presidents can never go on vacation, whether they're Democrats or Republicans. Who wins this battle? Who gets the better of this? The guy who has elevators for his cars, or the guy who is in Air Force One, in the White House, is in some ways, at least the Romney campaign is trying to make him a captive of the presidential lifestyle.
You know, it's interesting because there's no question that Mitt Romney is a lot richer than Barack Obama. Barack Obama is pretty rich too, and both Harvard educated. So it's interesting. So obviously the Democrats saw this as a very effective line of attack against Mitt Romney. He's so different from you. He can't possibly understand your life. So it's interesting to me that the Romney's trying to turn that back on Obama, and I think it's probably a good ticketing. It's not that Romney will get the better of it, but I think he can reduce the disadvantage he has because we'll have two rich guys who do not understand your life running for president.
Right. What do you make of
this?
Yeah,
I think the Romney campaign knows if it turns into a popularity contest, they have no shot. Romney said something a few weeks ago about the president being out of touch. He's been flying around on Air Force One for 3 years. Well, that's a little tricky because Romney's been running for president literally for 6 years, you know, nonstop. So it's not like he's exactly been, you know, a part of Main Street during this time either. And I think you're right. I think they're probably trying to diminish that gap a little bit, but it's not something that he can really overcome, I don't think.
I think what I'm fascinated by watching Governor Romney, he's sort of vacillated on this over the last year. Is it going to demonize President Obama, or is it going to say, you know what, perfectly nice guy, but not up to the job? I mean, he, whenever, at least in the Republican primary, whenever he said, oh, he's a nice guy, good family man, but not up to the job, the Republican base went crazy because they thought, well, no, he's not. But I think we'll hear more of that, you know, nice guy, just basically an incompetency argument or a not as qualified as I am argument. I think these whole class things, I mean, I think you had an interesting piece in Slate about the silver spoon. I mean, yes, President Obama mentioned silver spoon in his comment in Ohio in a derogatory way, but he's been using that phrase long before Mitt Romney came to the scene. So I don't know, what did you make of that?
Well, I think that on your point about Romney, he's got to do both, because if he is going to benefit from anger in his base about Obama more than he's going to benefit for love for him, Mitt Romney, he's got to keep tending those fires. He's got to keep reminding people why they don't like Mitt Romney. But if he's going to go to swing voters and independent voters and suburban voters, they're not going to be so interested in bashing the president. They're going to, they like the president. That's why his favorable ratings are pretty high. Like him, just not, let's give him a gold watch and send him on his way.
Especially people who voted for him 4 years ago, because they don't want to think that, you know, my vote was a big, colossal mistake.
Right, exactly.